Alright, everyone. So, to keep up with consistency, and because I promised, I'm going to do a full recap on the Fire and Ice story. All the way from chapter 1 all the way up to chapter 10. And I'm not going to go into full detail like what she does here, because that would take pretty much all day for me to even do. Instead, I'm going to name out all the important stuff that happens. Um, and the reason why I'm doing this is to get everyone prepped up and caught up to the finale and for the finale. That way they know. That way they're all caught up. So anyway, I guess the perfect thing to do now is to just begin. I've already explained chapter one easily. It pretty much is Poppy finds the skates. Smidge helps her try them on. Poppy goes to her dad. He says it's okay to pull out the tradition. Poppy doesn't know how to ice skate. She tries to skate but fails, and then goes into a freezing thorn bush. Branch saves her, asks about the tradition, takes her back to the bunker, um, gives her the healing salve, and is ready. Tells him that Branch is the teacher, and then finally coming to an agreement on when they should start practicing. That's chapter one. You can go see my chapter one review of it in the Fantastic Fanfics playlist. Anyway, it's time for me to go from chapter two all the way there. So chapter two pretty much starts out with the two just getting up in the morning and getting ready for the whole skating thing. And when it comes to the whole story, I'm actually okay with this. They start going to skate and everything like that, and she starts falling a bit. Um, so what happens is Bran starts giving a bunch of lessons and stuff like that, and each lesson that he tries to give her, it ends up failing. But then when they try one of the ideas, which is the looping around thing, like looping your arm around the other, and then just guiding around the edge kind of thing. That helps her out so much more. We get good broad moments in that scene, but the important thing is that they're going around the skating thing, and they do it like 3 times, I think. Once we get to 3 times, and Branch finally says Poppy should do it on her own now, and she's able to do it perfectly, which is absolutely amazing. And however, Poppy is wanting to make sure that every single thing in her show is perfect, and that's not what we kind of want. So, Branch says we need to go ahead and take a break and stop, which they said that they'll stop just so that they can go out and have lunchtime. They go out to pretty much the Branch's bunker, and Poppy's cooking up some type of cake. Branch is cooking some stew. Um, they end up making a drink and everything like that, and then Poppy pretty much just does some house stuff, and then mentions the idea of snuggling, which is not really Branch's thing at the moment. We're gonna see how much that changes later, and they keep talking and everything like that, and it's pretty much a thing where it's like, sorry about that. They have a thing where it's like there's a party going on, and Poppy's asking Branch to go with, and everything like that. Then at the end, they finally have a hug time, and it's one of those where the hug time's actually genuine this time. It's not mean spirited or anything like that. It's not like the movie either. So okay. Then we get to chapter three, which is pretty much Branch still having like this scary thing going on. Like he's still in his stage, even though he has his colors back. Um, After that, it's pretty much they're still going around, and doing all the fun stuff, you know? And they have a cute little Bobby moment, like just right there on the ice and everything like that. And it's pretty cool. I really like that. Um, and then they try something called a lift, which is pretty awesome. Um, After that, Poppy decides that she wants to make the routine her tradition. Her tradition. She wants to make it a duet. She wants to make it like a two thing, where Poppy's doing it with Branch because Branch is a good teacher and all that. And this is where Branch is like, but this is about you and your family tradition. I don't want to get involved. But Poppy's like, well, you're already involved because you're teaching me and stuff like that. And it'll keep going on and on and on and everything like that. Of course, though, Branch doesn't decide quite yet, but Poppy does ask him to think about it, which he's able to do. And we get a cute Poppy moment where it's like, I love to see you smile, and then Poppy's just blushing, and it's pretty cute. But the thing that we go now is they're pretty much trying to do a lift once again. However, her face features are starting to get a little bit scared. She tries to slow down and everything like that, but after that, everything goes out of control and they run into each other. But Branch was the one who specifically got hurt, specifically so that Poppy didn't get hurt herself. And Poppy is all scared and sad and everything like that Branch got hurt. But we do remember that Branch is a survivalist and that he's got the healing salve and stuff like that. While they're still on the ground, Branch has a moment where he's like, "You gotta kiss her, you gotta kiss her, you gotta kiss her." But then the snack pack shows up. It's like, dang it, a missed moment. And so they get off the ground, and the snack pack and everybody else, they just keep on talking and stuff like that. Now, after that, it's pretty much another person comes into the play. His name is Aspen, and he is a great skater. Like an absolutely great, like an amazing skater. So after that, they end up saying that they have a winter welcoming party. And Aspen said that he needs a dance partner and everything like that. And honestly, they're still asking Branch if he's going, but he's still trying to think about it. And anyway, after that, they all leave. And what happens then is basically that. Sorry, it's still. I always get nervous at stuff like this because I don't have a script this time. Even though I was supposed to have a script for this. So, Branch pretty much just stays out on the lake and everything and is doing chores and stuff like that. Trying to think of stuff. And, like, trying to think of his relationship with Poppy and how Poppy's so different from Branch that is he really good enough for her? But then, an interesting cloud guy shows up. I told ya, in my first Fantastic Fanfics review, this was a more interesting cloud guy, and he is because this isn't a cloud guy that's being mean and everything, and this isn't a cloud guy that's joking around just to kind of make everyone, including me, mad. No, this is where he says a lot of interesting stuff that makes it really, really like powerful with that. I love it. I'm even going to read out the quote right now. But two different viewpoints coming together means getting to show the other what they might be missing out on. Opposites aren't a bad thing, Branch. Our world is run by opposing forces. They keep each other in check. I absolutely love that. That is so interesting. Man, I love that stuff. I love when even Autumn is able to basically say, we're not gonna show. We have to give Cloud Guy a character arc. We are not gonna make him that annoying character that we always know. We're gonna make him interesting and charming, and I love that so much. After that talk from Cloud Guy, we end up going on immediately to Chapter 4. So, with Chapter 4, they pretty much have Poppy and the rest decorating for the party, and Poppy's waiting on Poppy. Poppy's waiting on Poppy. I'm sorry, I'm still nervous. Poppy's still waiting on Branch. There we go. And it keeps on going, and and it seems like they're trying to fake us out, with Branch supposedly not going. But Branch, I keep saying Poppy. I've kept talking about Poppy throughout this entire series. I can't even. Anyway, Branch finally shows up, and they're finally just watching the show and everything like that. And Poppy just whispers saying, "I'm just happy you're here," and I love it. And after that, they pretty much have a party, and Branch is able to talk and have fun, but only to a specific limit. He's an introvert, which makes sense. After that, Poppy ends up saying, like, coming over and saying that this was all you could take and everything. And he apologizes, but he's saying there's nothing to be sorry about. This is a big step, and you're getting there. It shows that you're growing, and it's perfect. And that's actually pretty amazing. So, after that, they hear a loud crash. And Poppy goes out to check it out, and as Branch leaves, he sees King Peppy. And King Peppy is able to help. Branch is able to help King Peppy out, and through the cold and everything like that. And they get him in and everything like that. With this, Peppy's finally able to tell the story about a scrapbook thing, about when Primrose when he and Primrose went on their first adventures together. And this is pretty much the entire story that will come back in chapter 5 to pretty much tell us all about their backstory, like the Kaleidosnow and the whole Primrose tradition thing, and Peppy and Primrose's love story and stuff like that. And this is a powerful story. I really like this story, and I love how Branch is just patient, like he's willing, he wants to listen, kind of thing, and I love that. And even Branch can kind of feel empathy there because he knows how it feels with his grandma and his own parents, according to this story. But in the movie, it's his grandma. So after that, Branch decides he wants to take Poppy to a place called Viridian Valley, which Peppy gives the map to. And Peppy basically gives the last thing to be careful and to take care of Poppy. The next morning, they're basically going out and skating once again. Well, Poppy and Branch are anyway, not Peppy. And they're basically going out and having this fun skating stuff. Well, actually, they're not even skating. They're pretty much getting ready to skate, honestly. And they end up getting the cocoa and stuff ready and everything. And they end up finally talking about a surprise, which is not known to Poppy, but it's known to Branch. However, things get a bit uncomfortable way too fast when Poppy ends up saying that Aspen would partner dance with Poppy. After that, Branch kind of gets a little bit ish, like kind of looking out ish, and is just all worried and stuff. And that is after the breaking point. The breaking point when he's like, "Well, shouldn't we have Aspen join us too?" Even though Branch is like, "It's our thing," kind of thing. And then Branch just ends up like kind of setting his mug down and folding his arms out across the lake and stuff. And Poppy's a bit sad, and she's like, "What did I do wrong?" Or like not really what I do wrong. He's like, "What's wrong?" Or "Did I say something wrong?" Or stuff like that. And she's all worried and stuff. And Branch literally ends up saying everything. Like, if there's something between Poppy and Aspen, which in this story there very clearly isn't. And I love how Autumn is able to give an explanation as to why that is. It's super hilarious too. Not really hilarious, but I actually find this a very good explanation. She ends up Autumn ends up using the excuse that Aspen wanted Poppy to partner dance because of the fact that Aspen has a crush on another troll with, according to the story, light mauve skin and red hair, and the quiet one with glasses that makes wood carvings, named Cypress. And I love this whole this situation here. this one, where Poppy just starts asking questions, saying, "You seriously think that I'd want to waltz the night away with anyone else in the village but you?" Or the other question where it's like, "Of all the trolls in the village, who was the one who decided to venture into the forest to rescue a very shamelessly optimistic princess, when if he wanted, he could go anywhere else?" Or the question, "Who sat with that princess and made her smile for the first time after she'd given up all hope of saving her people, then brought her colors back and stood beside her as she was crowned queen?" Then another question, "And who selflessly offered to be your skating coach so she could bring something back to the village and lift everyone's spirits, just like she did with him back in Bergen Town, and is here with her this very moment?" And I love the questions. It's like, this is the confidentiality. And this is by far the thing that really makes it break. No one else but you. And if you ever have any doubt about whether you're the one she wants to be with, just ask her and she'll gladly remind you. That is the best line in all of chapter 4, easily, I swear. I love that. It's like, when you have doubt, ask questions. I don't know, that's just amazing. And then Poppy just leans in for that sweet kiss to his cheek, and it's amazing. I had no idea what the actual heck was going on at the time, because I only just skimmed through this at first. And then when I finally read the whole thing, I was like, oh my god, the details make sense now. And that's kind of what you have to do in fan fiction criticizing, is you have to always pay very close attention to these details and read it down to the fullest detail, so that you know what happens in these instances. So after the sweet kiss and everything and like that, they finally get back into the skating practice. And they're pretty much just getting all badish. Not really bad, but it's all back to square one again. She's all bruised and everything like that. She's all sad about the fact that she tried this 11 times, the jump specifically. And she's like, "What's wrong with me?" and everything like that. Just like, "No, there's nothing wrong with you. You should just work and everything." Not work. She should probably just rest for a little bit. And she's like, "Nah, resting takes away the time that we have," and everything like that. And she gets all a bit kind of baddish. And here's the thing, this is believable, because she's like, I want to make it a special night for everyone. And he's like, "Are you doing it for them or for you?" And he's like, "For everyone, from them, for me and my family." It's like, who are you doing it most for? And I love that. It's like, I love the questioning of whether we're doing this tradition for the right reasons throughout this whole thing. I love that kind of stuff. There we go. So afterwards, they take a break, obviously, and Branch ends up doing something amazing. They end up going out into the woods once again, and Poppy is introduced to something called the Quinler. That's what it is, right? Yeah, they're called Quinlers, and they're I can't really describe the thing. It's at the end, but I still don't understand. But anyway, they basically are docile and eat a bunch of fruit and stuff, and they're really cutie. And afterwards, it's basically the two just coming into a plan about the vacation they're having toward Viridian Valley, and they both get really, really excited and stuff like that. The one thing that that's pretty much the end of chapter 4. But the one thing that I really got excited for was the fact that Autumn said, "The Quinler is a creature from my imagination. Think ferret with wings." And I'm like, what? I don't know. And the fact that Autumn put kudos if you got the Shakespeare reference, I'm like, what? There's a Shakespeare reference? No way. Where is it? I'm still trying to find it to this very day. Anyway, we get to chapter 5. And this one is by far, I guess, my favorite chapter so far. I don't quite know yet. A lot of these chapters are really good. They have so much detail and effort put into them, and that's why I like them. And it's hard to even choose one chapter that's really good. I might say the finale's good. That is, if the finale ever comes out. That's actually why I'm prepping you guys, by the way. So chapter 5 is pretty much the whole thing where They basically get into a snowball fight that pretty much is for nothing. And they basically have Poppy putting Smidge in charge. Well, that's the whole subplot done, so yay. See that, guys? I was able to explain that one subplot of a big snowball fight and getting a cake and the fact that Fuzzbert wins and everything like that, like this. And you don't even have this. Versus like an entire 5 to 10 minutes of reading. And then they basically have getting the stuff ready and everything like that, and they're ready to head off. And I love the moment where, like, this whole thing where, like, Poppy's just hugging onto Branch as they're flying and everything. And the whole Poppy's touching the sky thing, it's like a big, like, How to Train Your Dragon-esque feel to it, and I love it. So they end up going through the valleys, and they keep going over and over. They find a camp spot, and they have a few hijinks with the camping stuff, but they're able to figure it out. It's easy. So afterwards, they basically go to the they basically keep going into Viridian Valley. And they basically had the hand thing and like the holding hands thing, and it's pretty cute. Once they get to the Viridian Valley, they're full of these purple crystals that the skates are made from, and eat from. That's when Branch finally tells her the whole story that Peppy said in chapter 4. And they end up seeing that there's a heart and the names in it, and it's proof that Poppy's parents really did love each other. And Poppy starts crying, and Branch has this scary thing that's just like, oh god, is she crying for a bad thing? But she actually turns around and she's crying for a good thing. She's crying because she's happy, not crying because she's sad. Because she's sad. And what I love, I didn't even know this, but, like, at the time, but in this, it's all still in the cave. So it's perfect purple lighting and everything, and I love it. So, one of the things that I absolutely love is just the fact that it's like they're crying and everything. Also, I love this quote. 'Cause I'm happy. You make me so happy. You! The thing is you. The key word is you. You make me so happy. You went to all this trouble. I was like, dude, that's amazing. And Poppy's trying to figure out how to return the favor. But she finds the perfect idea. But, yeah, by finally cupping his face and kissing him. I was like, dude, awesome. And she just asked the question, is this alright? I'm like, what? Is that alright? It's a kiss. It's always going to be good. And Branch is like, really? He doesn't say it, but in his mind he's like, really? And he just pulls her back in for another one. And they just keep holding each other thing. And this kiss scene is absolutely amazing. Even though it's the first one, it's amazing. And yeah, that's about it for chapter 5. Chapter 5 is by far a really good chapter. Chapter 6 is basically them coming back, realizing now about their new special relationship that they have. They're not BF and GF yet, but they definitely are they definitely feel like they're more than just friends now. Like they're all they laugh whenever their arms brush against each other, and they exchange smiles and stuff like that. It was just, and the looks and everything. They go back together, and they pretty much have these this is pretty much like the whole dating one-on-one situation. I don't know, but it's basically Poppy's getting started with scrapbooking. Branch is writing a poem, and then they pretty much get started with then they have the whole scrapbook thing. Poppy shows Branch the scrapbook, and it's honestly a better scrapbook than any of the scrapbooks ever, ever. In fact, I'm going to read what it is. On the page she turned to was the scene that had played out earlier that evening. Cave walls and crystals made of felt and shimmery material served as the background, each individual crystal outlined in glitter, and in the center of the page, a felt version of Branch holding a pink felt Poppy in his arms, their lips and limbs intertwined. I was like, wow, It's glitter that doesn't spray you in the face. It's glitter that actually makes the scrapbook more beautiful. I'm like, wow, that never happened. That's amazing. So, yeah, I love that scrapbook. If I could have that scrapbook in design, I would. I'd put it in the background. I'd put it right there on my nightstand. Oh well, I don't know. So, they're basically going through with the poem and everything. Well, they don't say the poem yet. Honestly, though, I'm okay with it. Oh, it's just the countdown for the Fire and Ice that I got a notification on. Even though I'm recording it right now. But, I don't know. I'll probably post it on Instagram. By the time this video is up, it'll already be on Instagram. But by right now, it'll pretty much be me already putting it on Instagram. So, they're pretty much having the whole conversation of, are we boyfriend and girlfriend now? Like, are we dating? And they do want it. Both of them do. And Poppy makes him ask it. Like, the whole, Poppy, will you be my girlfriend? Just, why are you doing that? I mean, okay. I don't know. Anyway, they finally say yes. They finally say yes. We're dating, and honestly, this is just amazing. So they pretty much get started with the whole handsome troll and everything like that. The first time for everything stick. Then they have the whole wishing on a star thing. Oh man, I love that. Well, at first they pretty much have a fight about food and jam and everything, which is pretty funny. And this is when they start with the star, and both of them wish. Poppy, we don't know what her wish is, and I want to know by the end of this. I don't know. I can't control what Autumn's going to do in Chapter 11. But if there's anything that I want to know, it's her wish. In Chapter 11, I want her wish. I want to know if her wish is, I want to get married. If that's the case, then I'm like, maybe it's going to happen. I'm clearly sure it's going to happen. If it doesn't, then make an epilogue saying that it will. I don't know. I don't know. That's just me, though. One thing that I can say, though, is I really like the whole star thing. Because I do that, too. I like praying and stuff before I go to bed. It basically gives another idea that it's like I'm praying and hoping that things get better for another day. And I really do like that, because I do that, too. And Poppy says that she's never had a dance under the stars, which Branch does. And this is by far the best thing I've ever seen. I love the whole just dancing under the stars concept. I want to try something like that with my own girlfriend. So, continuing on, they realize that there's a thunderstorm coming up, and they both don't really sleep in each other's tents. Instead, they share one tent because it has to happen. And they pretty much snuggle up together, and Branch is basically confessing that Poppy is beautiful and everything like that. And the confession with Branch is a bit saddish. In fact, I'm going to read it. Because your soul gives off one of the brightest and warmest lights I've ever reveled in. Even when you were younger, you were always so kind and caring, always looking out for your friends, wanting everyone to be happy. And I was this ugly little gray blemish, consumed by anger and sadness, things any sane troll would shy away from. I was a shadow, and shadows know better than to stand next to light. I'm going to stop right there for the quote because he said he was ugly. That's sad. We wouldn't want that. That's really sad. And even Poppy's like, you're not ugly. Don't ever call yourself ugly again. Promise me you won't because you're not and you never were. And Poppy just comes out as really charming in this part. Like, the response that she has for something like that is just amazing. I'm like, whoa, that's insane. And even then, it's like, he didn't think he could possibly love her any more than he already did. But there she went again, proving him wrong. See? That's what it is, people. That's really what it is. Anyway. And then they seal it with a kiss goodnight. With a kiss goodnight. Well, I didn't get that last note right. With a kiss goodnight. There we go, we got it. So, They end up finally saying, I don't care. They end up finally doing the kiss, and it's like, you don't need to ask. Even if you want to, just because the answer is yes, it's always yes. And it's the same goes for Branch when Poppy needs a kiss. So they finally say goodnight, and it's finally all. It's finally tender and very sincere. Crap. Excuse me. Excuse me again. Okay, so then she comes up with that. Not her. Then he comes up with the whole beautiful angel thing, and we're wondering what the angel thing is. That's found out in chapter 7. Well, not chapter 7. Wait, yeah, it is chapter 7. I'm an idiot. So they're finally going out and everything. Like, they finally just go out and say, okay, we're gonna go out and have fun and everything. It's like, nah. With Branch, she's like, come on, get up. And yeah, they keep going. But I love this little flirt here. It's like, you're lucky I like you. And she's like, don't I know it? I love it. I love the cuteness. Alright. Anyway. Can we please have this be like our main idea for Trolls World Tour? Can we please have stuff like this happen in the movie? Please? They go over the valley and do a bunch of stuff that I'm not even going to really talk about. They have a fun little picnic, and then they ask the big question that I didn't think they'd ask. Not the marriage question. The whole, do you want to have kids question. And yeah, that's a pretty big question to ask, even though you haven't been an item for literally 1 day yet. You've only been an item for like 12 hours. It's pretty funny, actually. So they end up saying that we don't have to talk about it. But, then they ask something about the parents. And Branch gives his backstory on his parents. His father was Birch and his mom was Juniper, which is pretty cool. I like those names. And they're beautiful. And the fact that they named him Branch. It's pretty funny. I love how, like, every troll in this scenario is pretty much named after a plant. Poppy, Juniper, Birch, Branch, Primrose. I feel like that's a big coincidence in this series, isn't it? Oh man, jeez. So they end up basically having the fun time of their lives, and they end up finally stopping at the camp and bringing back their stuff. And then they end up going right back into the cold and everything like that. They end up having one last hug and one last kiss before they go right back to doing their old stuff. Oh man, I love it. Also, I love the whole bye boyfriend. Why bye? You could say bye Branch. It's not that bad. It's like bye boyfriend. I don't know. It's pretty funny. Anyway, after a couple of days and everything like that, she finally ends up doing the whole thing, and like the whole telling him about the trip thing and stuff like that. And she ends up trying to go out for another skate, and then something happens. The water hits, and then she just goes under, which is scary. And what happens is basically, sorry, I'm all stuffy, ish. I'm sorry that this video is like 33 minutes so far. There's just so much to talk about. And she falls in, and she's trying to hold on and everything, and then she ends up losing grip on the ice and drifting to Oblivion's Keep right as Branch saves her right in chapter 7. Right there. Branch ends up saving her, but she's unconscious, and she doesn't know. And there's a doctor here. She's called Dr. Plum, but Poppy calls her Dr. Plimsy for some reason. I don't really know why that is. Can you... Oh, Plimsy. That, like, her last name. I'm an idiot. It says right there on the fanfiction, you dummy. Anyway, they end up getting Poppy to the doctors, and she's all dry and everything. And they're basically holding her and everything like that. And they take shifts and everything like that. Well, that's like after they basically have a moment where Branch feels all bad about the incident and that he's all stupid and everything like that. But Plum is like, nah, you're not stupid. This just happens. Like, this was an accident waiting to happen. Like I said, with a conflict like this, Murphy's Law has to happen. It has to take effect somehow. So, of course,